Hi, so I'm just going to do a quick video of how to use contours in SharpCam 3D. That is version 2 and onwards. So let's draw a rectangle to start with. We'll have a corner x0, y0 and corner x4, y3. When you draw contours, they are positioned at Z0 by default. So if I use the measure command, highlight that line, we can see the top is 0 and the bottom is 0. So let's go ahead and just machine this contour as is. And this is previous versions of SharpCam are like this. That it's drawn, the contours are drawn at Z0, so there's no actual change by default. So if we choose a 1/2 inch end mill or profile, let's put those defaults are all fine. So I'm going to go minus 0.5. So I'll go 1/2 inch deep. Put some spindle speeds, some nominal speeds and feeds in here. We're not too worried about these for demonstration purposes. Select the contour, add. So that will have gone down to 1/2 inch deep. If we look at the NC code, you can see that the finished depth is 1/2 inch. Now a new feature now in SharpCam 3D is that we can set a height of a contour. So let me show you that. First of all, I'm going to delete that operation. So we need to, first of all, to start off with everything unselected. So to set the height of a contour, we're going to use the set contour height command, which is on the modify toolbar or the modify menu, or conveniently it's on the right click context menu, set contour height. So let's select the contour first. You need to select them first, as many as you want. Right click, set height. We're going to leave the top at 0 and we're going to have the bottom at minus 0.5. As you can see now, there's a height to that contour. Now there are implications of setting a height when you go to machine a contour. So let's now profile this again. First of all, I'm just going to talk to you about the finished depth. The finished depth is from the bottom of the contour. If you remember, this contour is at minus 0.5, and that's the depth we want to machine to. So we need to put 0 in there. So this is a bit of a departure from what you might be used to in previous versions. That will mean it will machine to the bottom of the contour, which is minus 0.5. So let's demonstrate that. Select the contour, add it. I mean, immediately you can see it's gone down to depth, but just to check, you can see there that it's gone to 0.5. So that's important to remember. The finished depth is from the bottom. If the bottom of the contour is 0, then you need to put the full depth in. If it's at the correct depth, 0 is the value you want. And for example, if we wanted to leave a small amount on the bottom, we could just put a 0.01 in there, refresh, and it's now lifted up slightly. You can see now it's gone to minus 0.49. So the idea is that you set the contour heights first, and then you don't keep having to think about all the depths. You let the height of the contour determine the depth, and you just adjust the figures based on the height of the contour. So that's the finished depth. Now the initial rapid, feed from, material surface and retract are all based on the top of the contour. So in this example, the fact the top of the contour is 0, it's not really going to demonstrate the uses of them. So what I will do is I'm going to delete that operation and I'm going to reset the height on this contour, and I'm going to make the top minus 0.5. and then the bottom minus 1. As you can see, that's jumped down now. Just double check everything. And that's the point. Just measure the line. So the top is minus 0.5, the bottom is minus 1. So let's machine this profile. Now these figures here, now with the ABS, which means absolute, with that unchecked and the ABS for the retract unchecked, which I'm going to start off with that, these values here are relative to the top. So the initial rapid, the feed from, the material surface and the retract are all from the top. So really everything is from the top apart from the finished depth, which is from the bottom. So let's just machine this profile and I can show you what's happening. So with the initial rapid of 2, it's not going to start at 2, it's going to start at 2 above the top, and the top is at minus 0.5. Therefore when we look at the code we should see a start point of 1.5, and we do. Okay. The material top effect, the feed from is 0.1 above the top, so therefore the depth is minus 0.4 in this case. The material surface is effectively minus 0.5. The depth we will now be going, let's in fact make that 0. So the depth is going to be, because the bottom is now minus 1, then the depth will be minus 1, even though we've got 0 in there. And then the retract will be 0.4, because it's 0.4 from the top. So the idea is, you set, like I said before, you can set your contour heights no matter where the heights are, and everything's taken care of. Now, I just want to show you what this ABS means. If I check the ABS here and the ABS here, it literally means that is the value that's going to be output. So if we look at the code now, it is literally 2 regardless of the top of the contour, and the retract will be 0.1 regardless of the top of the contour. You just have to be careful that if you have your datum on the bottom of the contour, you can get into trouble with these, and I'll explain that next. So let's delete this operation. Delete, and I'm going to set the height. This time the top's going to be 0.5 and the bottom 0, so effectively the datum, as you can see, is on the bottom there of the job. So let's profile this. Leave all the figures in there, add. Now instantly we've got a warning come up in the bottom right hand corner here, retract position equal to or below material surface. So you might be thinking, why is that happening? Well, 0.1 is actually part way up this contour, isn't it? Because the checkbox is checked in the absolute, so therefore it's going to retract to 0.1, and 0.1 is below the material surface. We're okay for the initial rapid because 2 is way above the top, which is 0.5, so that's fine. But that's the problem. So if we uncheck that, then now it's going to go up to 0.6 because it's 0.1 above the top. And likewise, if I uncheck that, it's going to go to 2.5 because it's 2 above the top of the contour. So it's quite convenient to leave these unchecked because then all these heights will be relative to the top of the contour. You just have to be careful, mainly on the retract, that sometimes if this was down inside a pocket, it might not have come up far enough. And the idea of the absolute is you can just check that and probably put a bigger figure in there, and you can ensure that it's always going to come clear. So I hope that gives you an idea of how to use the set height command and the uses of it with regards to machining. And this is relevant to all the 2D machining. So pocketing is the same, drilling, there's no retract on the drilling, so it's just the initial rapid, and then the thread milling all work the same way in that they're from relative to the height of the contour. Lastly, I want to show you how to set contour heights directly from a model. So let's just choose one I've already got open, and let's create some contours. I'm going to use the extract contours from face command. So let's highlight that, left click, so you can see it's already found the contours on that top face. Escape that. I want to set the height now. Let's do the outside one first. So select it, right click, set contour height. Top is 0, that's correct. It's already picked the top up. We just need to click OK and do the bottom. So really we just need to point to anywhere on the bottom, and that's going to use the point on the model to set the height of the bottom. So that anywhere on the bottom, that looks fine. You can see the blue snap mark on the bottom. So left click, and you can see it's filled the model at the bottom with a value of -1, which is correct. Let's do some more. Let's extract all the contours off this face here. Let's deselect that one. So let's set all these holes and these 4 slots here. Set height, and the top again you can see is correct, so click OK. The bottom, we know it's -1, but let's just snap to it in case we'd forgotten. So you can see it's put -1 in there, and you can see visually that the contours have been not extruded, the heights have been set. So what that means is that we could then machine these slots or drill the holes really without having to think too much about where they are, because because the heights tell the machining operation what heights to use. So just one thing to bear in mind when you're pocketing, you need to ensure that all the heights, for any operation, all the heights have to be the same. So you may well get a message if you try and machine contours of different top and bottom. So you just need to make sure that you keep all the top and bottom the same within the same operation. Okay, thank you very much.